Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. All right, how are we?
Great, thanks. Come on, Swanee, you can do better than that.
Any news in the last 5 minutes?
Restocked the beverage, had a little snack. Good to go.
What'd you have a snack of? I felt a bit lost down there. I don't think I did myself justice.
It is.
Balls.
Balls. Oh, they do sound good.
Balls.
They sound delicious.
They come in, I guess it's kind of like a nutsack, more like a pouch,
It's
I
a
guess.
nutsack if ever I saw
A
one.
nut pouch.
They're good.
Them. They look like the kind of thing that look really healthy but are really fattening because they look really yummy.
They're like a cherry ripe, but not sickly sweet. It's
Yum, I'd love that.
good. Get into it. Aldi's finest.
All right, well, there's no news, so shall we introduce ourselves? I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky. And together we are
Trial
by
Wine.
What are we drinking? Sorry, a little belch there.
I'm so sorry.
What?
No, that was me. I just, you know how I like to doodle and do all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I've got this thing. Can you see this? See, when I do that, it comes out like a lipstick or something.
Like a dog stick.
Right. I love it. It's like this fluorescent highlighter. And I've been using it, but I've just realised it's called a text surfer. And I'm thinking, what fucking genius in a marketing department gets that?
Shit.
I've been text surfing. Don't
I'm
mind
surfing
me.
over the text.
It looks like a bloody... Yeah.
Have you literally just gone along and highlighted the walls as you walk down the stairs or something?
It's smooth. It's very
I'm
smooth.
text surfing.
I'm text surfing. I do a lot
I'm
of
going
text
to be
surfing.
furious at myself later.
Oh, I love it. It's like a lipstick. It's lovely. It's like a crayon or something. Oh, anyway, you were
As I
saying
said, like a dog
something
stick.
interesting.
When you revealed it to us just
The
then,
lipstick.
I thought dog stick. AKA lipstick. Oh, boys, what are you drinking?
Go back on the hard ginger beer that's not really that hard. It's such a wank. It's even got G for ginger resistance. It sounds like a Catherine
what does that
Tate
even mean?
sketch.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a ginger beer. What are you resisting?
I don't understand it. Ginger
weird.
resistance. I don't know if that's the ginger people rising up to resist the oppression they've suffered, or whether it's the rest of the world going, not here, mate.
Resistance. Yeah.
Next. Keep going.
And Swanee, what are you drinking?
Oh, I've changed it up. I've gone to the soda
You
water.
disappoint me because you said you didn't have anything else to do tonight. So I thought you might have an alcoholic.
Well, when I said everything else to do tonight, I don't have to go out of the house. I've got a million and one things to do with that family, including cooking them dinner.
Whatever.
I just don't. I'm you know me. I'm a binge drinker. None of this. I'm not going to waste it on one drink.
Okay.
That's pointless with me. I need to be shit faced.
Fair enough. I mean, Clarky and I and Woo are all
It's true.
binge drinking tonight and getting shit faced. I'm on Bailey's now, FYI.
Oh,
on top of your kombucha.
I thought it looked blue, but I think it was just a reflection of your night.
beautiful
Your
gown.
gown.
Yeah.
But I can see now. I thought it was like a blue.
No, it's just a Bailey's because it's
Curacao,
so
whatever it's called.
friggin' cold that it feels like Bailey's weather. Who's got a story for us?
Me.
And where in the world are we, Carmen Santiago?
Aha, glad you asked. Today, we're going to set sail for Sri Lanka, which is
very pretty.
the penultimate destination on our global adventures
God, we're nearly getting to the end of
story
them,
list. So we are. Then I'm going to have to go back to real stories.
Anyway.
Not that these aren't real, but you know. So I might just start with my sources so I don't forget them. So first one is Colombo Telegraph, Daily News, Sunday Observer, Sunday Times, Raw Media. Oh, look, and I've put it in again, the Colombo Telegraph. I must have used that a lot. So for those of you that don't know, Colombo is the capital of Sri Lanka. Not to be confused with Colombia, which is not. Colombia, yeah. Cameroon.
Oh.
And whilst it has attractions such as Gangaramaya Buddhist Temple, Jami Ulafar Mosque and Goldface Green, we found the richness of Sri Lanka was definitely outside of the capital. So if you venture outside of the capital, you'll find national parks such as Yala with elephants, leopards, and a whole array of flora and fauna. Down south, beautiful Marissa will impress with whale watching and sea turtle spotting. And I did tell you the story about how he walked off the beach and just started hand feeding sea turtles, didn't I?
I don't recall that.
Nuts.
Oh,
It's
amazing.
crazy. Okay. And don't forget historical places such as Lion Rock and Ponalarua Ancient Ruins. So Ponalarua is a little bit like some of the things you'd see at Siem Reap. Not so much at Angkor Wat, but in some of the other little temple areas, there's these beautiful carvings and statues and
stuff. A bunch of places I've not been to, so nice reference. Yeah, go on.
Hopefully you're not our only listener, and maybe some other people have been there, but, you know.
I'll stop it right there then. That story will be no use.
Anyway, there is a lot to love about Sri Lanka. So a little bit about Sri Lanka's history. It dates back about 3,000 years with evidence of prehistoric human settlements dating back 125,000 years. The island was ceded to the British in 1796, became a crown colony in 1802, and was formally united under British rule by 1815. As Ceylon, it became independent in 1948. Its name was changed to Sri Lanka in 1972. Jeepers, something's gone on with the formatting. So it actually says 19724. So I was trying to work out what the year was, but yeah, 1972. And Sri Lanka, you probably are very well aware of, had a civil war that began in 1983 and lasted until 2009. So 26 years of internal
with
fighting.
The Tamils, yeah?
Jeepers.
Yeah, and the Sinhalese. Whilst researching this story, I came across countless articles covering war crimes that had occurred during this time. However, I opted not to go with any of them, partly due to the complexity of these issues. Well, I don't know. Some of them, there's a lot of corruption and, there's a lot in there. But also the fact some of them are still unresolved. So instead, I opted to go with this story. You'll need to jump into the timey-wimey machine and head back to 1948. The year that Sri Lanka gained independence from British rule. Y'all ready for this? Dun, dun, dun. So this is the story of S.M. Samarasinghe, who was born on the 11th of November 1930. He was the youngest in a family of 4 children. So from this point on, I shall just refer to him as Samarasinghe because all I could ever find was his surname, not what the SM stood for.
Sadomasochistic.
Oh, is that one word?
Yeah, Samarasinghe is one word, yeah. He lived with his father from his childhood until 1944, when he was about 14, in the village of Kabagumawa in the Kagal district. His father was a farmer, and the elder children were fairly well educated and quite well to do. The elder siblings took care of Samarasinghe's education and admitted him to Dhamaraja College, a leading school in Kandy. To facilitate his schooling, he was first boarded at a dispensary owned by Gampaha Vedarala, I'm going to get this wrong, Gampaha Vedarala in Kings Street, Kandy. The elder siblings really wanted to give their younger brother the best education they could. However, they didn't have sufficient funds to board him in the college hostel. Therefore, they had to settle for places they could afford and started looking at private boarding residences.
Uh-oh.
This led... well played. This led them to Jayasiri Tailoring Mart.
A pedophilia shack.
This led them to Jayasiri Tailoring Mart, or JTM, owned by Lenadua Lokuge Jayawardene. And from this point on, to save myself countless times or moments of embarrassment, we're going to call him LLJ.
Okay.
LL Cool J. Got it?
LL Cool J. LL not Cool J.
LL Cool J, not Cool J.
LLJ was an unmarried adult male who decided to run a tailoring business. Although he was not an expert tailor, he was a shrewd operator and knew how to make things happen. He got hold of a rickety sewing machine and then he bought a new one on hire purchase. He then transferred the parts from the new sewing machine to the old one and vice versa, and then he defaulted on payment. The hire purchase company came along and seized the new machine along with the old parts, and LLJ kept the old machine with new parts, giving him a fully functioning sewing machine for nothing. It's a good scam.
It is.
Singer scam.
And that's the end of the story. Oh, that reminds me of a joke our neighbour says. Just because you got a head like a sewing machine doesn't mean you're a singer.
I quite like that.
You could use that at the theatre, Schmitty.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. LLJ next hired expert tailors to work in his establishment, which he named, as I said before, Siri Tailoring Mart, or JTM. Soon shirts and shorts made at JTM became a fad, and LLJ befriended the boys who visited the shop.
Oh.
He acquired a motorcycle and often took the boys for rides. He was also known to shower them with gifts. A lovely bloke. When LLJ met Samarasinghe, sounds like a movie title, when they met in 1944, he liked what he saw and set about cultivating a friendly relationship towards the then 14-year-old boy, being very friendly and giving him all manner of gifts. That all seemed to go well until at some point LLJ crossed a line and started to take advantage of the boy, committing what one article described as unnatural offence on him.
Oh, sodomy?
I'm kind of glad they spared us the details. Unsurprisingly, Samarasinghe loathed having unnatural offence committed on him and wanted to find himself a new boarding house. So he took it upon himself to contact a family friend, Kodakara, who found him lodging in the house of Alwis Apuhami, the owner of Fancy Stores in Kandy in 1946. Fancy stores. That's nice, isn't it?
I've got fancy stores.
Fancy.
Fancy?
Yeah, there's plain stores everywhere, but I've got the fancy ones.
Fancy. To be fair, I used to go to a nail salon down the road here. It was called Fancy Nails. Yeah, Fancy Nails.
So Stuart's niece used to refer to her downstairs bits as her fancy. So every time we hear the word fancy stores or fancy nails, like Lady Garden, yes. 3 days after Samarasinghe left the boarding house, LLJ visited Kodakara to try to find him.
Oh, give it up.
When he met Kodakara, he said, "This boy was living with me. I fed him, dressed him, and did everything for him. He has left my place having removed a ring of mine. He's a very bad boy. Please get him out of the place where he is boarded at present and send him back to me." Kodakara later told Samarasinghe about LLJ's request, but he refused to return.
That cocksucker.
Oh dear. that committer of unnatural offence.
I didn't know which unnatural offence it was.
Not. Oh, goodness.
I'm not a fan of the unnatural offencing that was going on.
A fan of the unnatural offences doesn't mean I'm a receiver of swollen goods.
Yaris. How very dare you.
Yeah.
So, LLJ again visited Kodakara 2 days later and inquired into the matter, where he was told that the boy didn't want to return to him. LLJ asked Kodakara to reconsider his request, which was again denied. But LLJ was not taking no for an answer. And not to be outdone, he went to see Kodakara for a third time to see if he would give Samarasinghe up, and was again told the boy did not want to come back and to not bother them again.
Do you think that's something of an old-time thing? There are very few things that if it didn't work for me first time that I'd go, a third time I'll return and I shall try again. Do you know, it's such a fable kind of thing. And he returned again and tried.
First,
and on a third
occasion, try again.
Okay. But I think with us, we're just like, I tried, didn't work, never mind.
Yeah.
Not having any of it.
I thought about it.
I will give you another opportunity to come and have a natural act with me, but yes, no thanks.
So by now you've probably worked out that LLJ was determined. And instead of taking no for an answer...
That wasn't the word I was thinking of, but yes.
He whipped out a knife in his waist and said, "If I cannot destroy him with anything, I will destroy him with this." Then he left.
Fuck, he's dramatic.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum, bum. So he's visiting Kodakara, who's the one who put Samarasinghe into the fancy store owner Alwis Apahami's shop.
Yep.
Right? So didn't work with Kodakara, but he managed to find Alwis Apahami and paid him a visit about 6 days later.
Who?
Apohami, the owner of fancy stores.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah.
Old mate fancy stores, right.
Old mate fancy stores, yes. LLJ said to him, look, this boy got angry with me and he came to this place. Please do not keep him in your house. Send him back to me. So he's trying a little bit of a different tack. Of course, got no luck there. So a few days later, he came back and begged Alwas to send the boy home. At one point, LLJ came and threatened Alwas. I've already told you on 2 occasions not to keep the lad. If you continue to keep the lad, you will get into trouble. If that lad does not come back to me, I will kill that lad.
Oh, my God.
It's escalating. Yeah. In April 1946, while Samarasinghe was on school vacation, LLJ sent him a letter which read, do you mean to board in another place this term? Do you not consider about college boarding? If you do not like it too, I will find you another place. I would not hesitate to buy or rent another place for you. How can I be without your friendship in the future? Otherwise, I have nothing to console myself. I feel like he's singing that to the tune of Whitney Houston's I Have Nothing.
There's a whiff of desperation, I'll give you that much, Uncle Jay.
Nothing. Don't make me close my door.
That's
I
it.
Oh,
don't want to hurt anymore. Anyway, go on.
Yep, I think you've nailed the vibe.
I get this impression of this quite dandy man, but he probably wasn't.
Oh, I mean, he might have been.
Do you know what I mean? He's just so when it suits him, so proper, trying to get what he wants.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit of a con man.
I think you probably nailed the brief of what he is like.
Yeah, he's a dick.
So, Samarasinghe's elder brother, Podi Nalam, or Nalami maybe, contacted an acquaintance named Jaya Singh, who was the assistant manager of the Tarzan office. And I did think I should Google what the Tarzan office is, but I never did. And so Samarasinghe moved from Alwas's house on the 3rd of March, 1947. Yeah, moved from fancy stores to Tarzan office.
Right.
And so went to live in Tarzan office.
Right.
Hopefully, by now, they've lost LLJ. But no.
He's keen.
Yeah, he must have been a pretty good stalker too, because a few days later he visited Jaya Singh and told him to send Samarasinghe to his house. At that point, Jaya Singh asked, why do you want him? In response, he said, my business is down. The boy is a good omen to be in my house. He has a pleasant face and a good look. I'm glad when he's in the store.
And where has he been?
At Tarzan's store office.
Running away, trying not to go back to LLJ. So LLJ had him...
Oh, it scared me. It scared me. That was very loud.
I didn't see that coming. Well played.
I bet you heard it, though. Fucking hell.
I did hear it, yes.
So we're with Tarzan, yeah? Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, you're such a prankster.
I was working on that for 10 minutes. Anyway.
So, LLJ had managed to follow Samarasinghe to every boarding house that he went to stay in after leaving JTM.
Yeah.
Making various threats and requests from the owners of the boarding house to send the child back to him. However, on the 24th of March, things escalated and LLJ met Samarasinghe on the roadside and assaulted him.
Oh, God, what?
No, I don't know whether he committed any unnatural offence upon him, but he assaulted him.
Did.
Later, his elder brother, Podi, who we spoke about before, went to LLJ's house and asked him why he had beaten his little brother.
Oh, he's beaten him.
LLJ answered that he was beaten because he continued to refuse to come and live with me.
Fair enough. Now that you point that out, fair enough. I'll let it be.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Can't argue with that.
No.
What's that all? On March 29th, police filed a case in the magistrate's court alleging assault by LLJ. He then visited Podi's house in Kigal 4 times to ask him to withdraw the case, but Podi wasn't able to bar of it and turned him away every time.
I love LL Cool J's persistence. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. He's got all the time in the fucking world, this guy, to doodle around and ask for permission. Could you please send that person back to me? Could you please tell me why this has happened? He's very polite, persistent.
don't make me show how persistent I can be.
Yes. I feel like we're headed that way.
When he was turned away from Pody for the fourth time, LLJ responded with, "Then you are all going to get in trouble." Yep. Persistent.
He doesn't mince his words, does he?
He doesn't. Yeah. Let there be no confusion about what's going to happen. You're all going to get in trouble. So the court heard the case against LLJ on the 14th of August 1947, and he was convicted and imposed a fine of 500 rupees.
For what?
I'm not sure.
The assault
for
on the
assault.
roadside.
LLJ's the rampant pedophile trying to groom and attack this child repeatedly, yeah? Okay.
Yes.
And shamelessly just going in and telling people to send him back. I love this. I don't know. I'm the local pedophile, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but this child has tried to leave me. Could you please send him back?
If you don't bring him back, I'm going to fuck you up. Yeah.
Oh, no, very politely. You're in big trouble if you don't. You know,
big trouble, mate.
He's got a
Big
lovely
trouble in
face, a
Little
nice
China.
demeanour, and he's good for business. Please send him back.
So then this next bit's a little bit random, but it did crop up in one
random?
article. So LLJ decided that he should pay 500 rupee to a person named Karunaratne so that he could break the leg or arm of Samarasinghe.
Oh, what?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What a little asshole. What?
But so he didn't do what he was asked, but instead later testified against LLJ. So this came out later.
Morally
Yes.
incorrect.
And we haven't got to why it came out later, but we will. So LLJ was fast running out of options to get Samarasinghe back to him. So the infatuation he had for Samarasinghe turned into hatred.
Oh.
LLJ upped the ante on his, as it often does,
time.
in these classic man meets boy.
Boy doesn't want a bar of it. That's right.
Oh, yes.
Till
a
us
classic
old as time.
Classic.
Song as old as rhyme. That's it.
Pedophile be mine.
Pedo and the kid.
Oh, you could have gone Peter and Samarasinghe.
Oh my god. So his infatuation turned to hatred, and LLJ upped the ante on his previously casual threats that were not taken seriously.
Get over it, LLJ.
His threats became more persistent, and at one point he confided in his close friend, KT Simon, as to what his next move would be. It wasn't to release the hit Pedo and the Beast, Pedo and the Boy.
No, it was probably to move into TV because his music career was over. So then he went to NCIS. Oh, Cool J, that is. Yeah.
Yes. No, he's got other skills, you know. He's not-
No, you know how like there's, you know that we do so there's Law and Order. What are the ones like, you know, Vegas? Is that by City? What do they call that?
He's in NCIS. That's CSI, yeah.
CSI, so is he like Kandy
Yes,
CSI?
it's like Kandy.
Oh, that's a massive part of the franchise. That's a great franchise, that one. CSI Kandy.
It was after Los Angeles and Hawaii.
Yeah. And Kandy. It was the OG, of course, because this is like 1940 something, isn't it?
I feel like it was
CSI
yeah.
Kandy.
Okay, it's the OG because otherwise it's like way after the rest of the franchise. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first one. This is where it all started.
right.
CSI Kandy.
So LLJ told Simon that he knew how to make a bomb, that he had tested a bomb, and that he will kill the boy with a bomb.
Oh, Jesus.
And
Calm down, LLJ, Cool J. Yeah.
And that he will send bombs to his siblings also. Now, while Simon may have been a close friend, he was also a good man and not a complete arsehole. And
Simon may have been a close friend, but he knew a psycho when he saw one. So he said,
psycho blog.
Oh, look, mate, you're nuts. Okay, I'm out of here, yeah.
So he said, He sent out warnings to Samarasinghe and the siblings to say this is what whack job's thinking.
Oh, you're going to be bombed. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
FYI.
So then on the 20th of January 1948, 2 parcels were posted to the Havelock Town Post Office. Sorry, at the Havelock Town Post Office. One was addressed to...
Is Havelock near Kandy?
Yep. I think they originated in Colombo. I'm not sure, to be honest. But they might have been posted from Colombo. Anyway, one was addressed to Samarasinghe. The other to his sister, Mrs. Senavaratne. And on both parcels, the sender's name was written as A.M. Senavaratne of Training College, Colombo.
Right.
So who is, I think, the husband of Mrs. Senavaratne. On the same day, 2 other parcels were posted at the General Post Office in Colombo. One was addressed to Podi, the eldest brother, and the other to Miss Disanayake, his girlfriend. On the morning of the 21st of January, Samarasinghe left for school and his parcel was delivered whilst he was there. The other 3 people also received their parcels. When Podi received his parcel, his suspicions were aroused and he did not open it. However, he was immediately worried that his brother Samarasinghe might. So he set out to Kaduganawa, which is where Samarasinghe was, to warn him. When he arrived, it was, however, too late. Poor Samarasinghe had received his parcel and opened it, and in doing so, he was killed.
Oh, my
That's
God.
outrageous.
That was quick.
And, yeah, the articles I read said things like he was blown to smithereens.
A poor
The
child.
other 3 didn't open theirs, and so they were fine. So the police did a thorough investigation with many interviews and quickly determined that LLJ was their main suspect.
Wow.
They had testimony from numerous people that pointed to him being the one who wanted Samarasinghe dead. However, they lacked any direct evidence. But there was also other testimony. So according to one shop owner named Premadasa, LLJ had come to his shop about 2 weeks before the tragedy and asked to buy 10 dynamite tubes and 20 military-type detonators. On January the 20th, 1948, a man named David Pereira ran into LLJ at a fuel station where he sarcastically asked, did you go to see your friend, referring to Samarasinghe? At the time, LLJ said, I've not been able to go recently, but I have sent him a gift.
Oh, God. That's cold.
A government analyst, Chan Mugen, described the bomb as a box that presented as a gift but contained dynamite, detonators, copper wire, batteries, lead filaments and cardboard, and mailed from the Havelock Town Post Office. When the box was opened, it pulled a wire connected to the label which caused the filament to ignite, setting off the detonator and ammunition, causing the dynamite to explode. So they had a whole lot of detail around how these things worked. Now, there were 5 bombs that were alleged to have been manufactured by LLJ and sent. So one was sent to Samarasinghe, one to Podi, one to his sister Senavaratne and his cousin Disanyake. The 5th bomb, which we didn't discuss, was found in a shop belonging to Uku Banda in Udugoda. I'm not sure where that is. And he said it was delivered by 2 unknown, well-dressed people. Luckily for him, his testimony was supported by a bus driver who said that he had dropped off 2 such people nearby. And so he was not implicated. Instead, the prosecution determined that the master plan of LLJ was to kill Samarasinghe and his family and then implicate Uku Banda in the manufacturing and sending of the bombs. Uku Banda had no connection or acquaintance to Samarasinghe. The case went to trial. However, it was dependent entirely on circumstantial evidence, which was a concern for the victims and the prosecution. The trial commenced on the 8th of May 1949. The judge was Justice Dr. R.F. Diaz, and there was an English-speaking jury. ACM Amir appeared for the prosecution, whilst leading the defence was Alien Pereira, a flamboyant and first-class jury lawyer. Over the course of the 8-day trial, the prosecutor Amir wove a web with the testimony of many witnesses, and LLJ was well and truly cornered. The only hope now lay in Alien Pereira's powerful advocacy and in his final address to the jury. He'd been known to wrest a verdict in his favour from a reluctant jury by the power of his address alone. It was not unthinkable that he would not repeat this feat in LLJ's defence. Alien concluded his address by quoting Sir Edward Marshall Hall, KC, Marshall Hall, KC, was the ablest criminal lawyer in the British Empire in the 19th century.
King's Counsel.
Yes. Well done. And here's how it reads. Gentlemen, in the hands of the justice are held two scales, and you are the people who watch and decide as the blind figure of justice holds those scales aloft. It is you who decide what is the result of the weighing. One scale is the scale of the prosecution. The other is the scale of the prisoner. The prosecution comes under your careful and acute scrutiny as they begin to put into the scales of the crown the bits of evidence which are to weigh and to make the scale go downwards to a lower level than the other and convict the prisoner of the crime of which he is charged. The other scale is empty when they begin. You must take away from your eyes any faulty vision which you may have, caused by prejudice or suspicion. You are sworn to do your duty according to the evidence, and upon your oaths you must give your verdict. And you must not let any faculty lie dormant in the most minute examination of the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Guilty.
But remember this, the other scale is not empty. The prisoner's scale has something in it, invisible to the naked eye, invisible to anyone who examines it.
Guilt.
However skillfully, however scientifically, because on that scale is a thing called a presumption of innocence, which, if the scales go level, is to bump the prisoner's scale down and outweigh the scale of the other side. It's a lot, isn't it?
Words, words, words. I'm so sick of words.
Yeah.
I heard words all day through, all from him, now from you. Is that all you blighters can do? He's guilty.
Schmitty, after a quick deliberation, and I did read somewhere, it was like an hour, the jury unanimously agreed on the verdict that LLJ was guilty of murder.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, thank God.
I love that this bloke can sway the jury with his final words, and he chooses that. It's like, God, I can't even listen to it.
It's like, yada, yada, yada. We know he did it.
Blah,
Get over
blah.
it.
Didn't say anything.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. What a load of old. So he was found guilty of murder, and after his conviction, he appealed to the High Court, but the appeal was dismissed and affirmed by the judgment of the High Court.
Good.
So well done to the police to have meticulously tied up the circumstantial evidence in this case and brought it to book this dirty pedo. There's a certain irony that but for LLJ blurting out his plans to his closest friend Simon, he may well have gotten away with it. So, of course, special mention to Simon, who warned the victims and also bore testimony at the trial doing his civic duty.
There's actually been some good people on the way through, thankfully. Otherwise, this would have been very different. Well, would have been a different. He would have got to him earlier, but yeah.
On the 9th of May 1949, large crowds gathered at the audience hall of the Supreme Court and outside to hear trial judge F.R. Diaz pass his sentence, and as expected, he sentenced LLJ to death.
Took this motherfucker down.
LLJ appeared.
Oh.
Yeah, you go. LLJ appealed to the Privy Council, but the petition was dismissed and he was executed.
Which is fair. I'm okay with that.
The jury retired at 10:51am and returned at 11:51am. That's how long it took them to work out that he was guilty. So he was hanged on the 18th of March 1950. And S.M. Samarasinghe passed away on the 21st of January 1948 as a 16-year-old schoolboy.
Poor kid.
Yeah, really horrible. And so there were headlines that said this was a story of love between two men.
No,
it wasn't. That kid
Correct, like a 14-year-old boy.
Kitty fiddler.
Correct. Absolutely right, which is why I just wanted to call that bit out.
Yeah.
So, trial by one jury, what say you?
Dirty diddler.
He was really scary because he was so persistent and so calm to start with, just approaching people. All it would have taken was one person to go, I'll send him back to you. Sure, no. I mean, and I wouldn't say it would have ended. I think it was always going to end pretty badly by the sounds of things. That feels like it was headed, like it was on a path that wasn't going to stop because he was so persistent. Do you know what I mean? He was just not going to take no for an answer.
Yeah, but you wouldn't expect him to blow them all up, right? Like,
no.
You know, yes, I know what you mean, but you don't really expect someone to say, oh, you know what? I'm not getting where I want to get here, so I'm going to send you some dynamite and shit.
This stage, like someone actually...
Awful.
I mean, God, you couldn't...
Openly pursuing someone.
In a pedophilic relationship? Is that like...
Yeah.
Well, you know, probably there'd be a lot more people going, excuse me, what?
The boy who used to be staying with me, you need to send him back to me. Yeah. Why? Well, because he looks good. He's good for business. I think there would be
And
a bit more.
and I like it when he sucks
I
my
like a bit of
cock.
cock and bum fun with him.
What?
No, mate, that's not going to happen.
He might not like it.
Thank
He
you for
doesn't
being
like
so
it,
open.
but that
I
doesn't
like to
matter.
commit unnatural offences on him. Like,
Where you were reading that, Clarky, the natural offences, was that the wording at the time, or is that subsequent to that, but it's still come out of Sri Lanka, so that's how they would position it?
It was in an article, but it was quoted as unnatural offences. And so, yeah, I don't know if it was of its time. It didn't. There was a lot in this that was colonial British that.
Yeah.
Cock and bum fun.
And some of it was lost in translation. That's a little written reference. Yeah. They used to joke cock and bum fun all the time. Yeah.
In what context? I don't know that. Oh, look at what this does.
Just what gay people did, We'll go and have some cock and bum fun or something.
Oh, like when they do like the only gay in the village or something, did they have the
And you know what?
So, yeah.
There is nothing wrong with cock and bum fun when it's among consenting people. I think the problem here was the 16-year-old boy was
There's
not
something
consenting.
very wrong about unnatural offences. Like it just as a phrase. I'm like, what is that? Ugh.
Well,
Right.
it's unnatural if someone doesn't like it, doesn't want it, doesn't ask for it, doesn't consent to it. Because let's face it, you could stick something in any old hole, right? We might not nowadays call it unnatural, but it's not okay when someone says, please don't put that in my hole, and they do. That's the unnatural bit.
He wasn't a nice man.
No,
LL Cool
not
J,
at all.
was he?
And he's...
Let's not say LL Cool J. Let's just say LLJ, because LL Cool J is not actually related to this story.
Of course. His persistence and his
stalkerishness,
bravado in way, like just going out, approaching people, I find that so creepy.
Yeah.
It's nearly like it's so out in the open. It's like, oh God, you're unabashedly.
You get away with this fraternity kind of thing.
Yeah, you just do it in broad daylight. That scares me so much.
Then you'll threaten people with getting in trouble. Ooh.
Okay, so to sentencing. What shall we do with LLJ?
LLJ.
I think he does need unnatural offences committed upon him.
I think he'd like that, so I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, no, because I was thinking...
What's an unnatural offence in his
definition?
Well,
no, see, I don't know. I think an unnatural offence has something to do with exorcism. It doesn't have to be sexual. Maybe like an exorcism.
No, but maybe he's forced to have sex with old women. Like the opposite of what he likes.
Yes. I was thinking, remember Joan Vollmer, who was in Antwerp in Victoria, and she was...
Yes, the exorcism.
Bugs and things came, or insects and things came in the 40-degree heat when she was dying. And
that's because she was
dead. But I think he needs to go through a Joan Vollmer type exorcism.
I think
where the house was wrapped in glad wrap to stop spirits getting out, and the town priest was on it.
The gardener had like a caterer's wrap of glad wrap.
That's right.
It could wrap the whole house in glad wrap. I mean, what?
He probably got it at Costco or something. Probably like one of those. You need a membership. You need a membership to get that.
Even then, that's a big
caterer's wrap.
It's beyond caterer's wrap.
One of this.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, yeah.
A lot of glad wrap. Anyway, I think hot needles in his scrotum.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Regularly? I feel like it'd have to be more than once.
Quite regularly, yeah. And in his perineum too, so right up the crack. And maybe some in his arsehole over there.
Up the chocolate escalator.
Maybe some in his eyes.
You think he likes to ride the chocolate escalator?
Yeah. Maybe some in his eyeballs as well, because that'll hurt.
Yeah.
What else is really painful? Up the fingernails.
Oh, yeah, that'll do.
I think this individual needs some significant... He killed a completely innocent young man that he had been not only stalking, but possibly abusing.
He tried to kill a lot more than that. He was
but he blew that poor kid up. He blew him up.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
It's not good.
Swanee, what do you think?
Needles.
I really don't know. I don't know what to do to him.
He's a terror.
He's beyond that.
And not in the context of a naughty 11-year-old boy or something.
No. It was just the shamelessness of it. Like it was nearly comedic. I'm here again to ask for you to send this child back to me that I'd like to, abuse. Oh, no thanks. We're right. We're good. back for a third time, and I would really just say, you must send him back this time because I've been here 3 times, and I've asked her politely, please send the child back so I can abuse him. Oh, my God.
Don't make me resort to my bomb threat.
I don't want to have to come again. It says like this. I said, gentleman caller. Oh, God. Please. I'm running. My temper's starting to fray. I'm running short on patience. Please, if you would, I'd really like to have this child. I'd have my way with him. What a weirdo. Pedo land is not my
specialty.
No, it's really not. I feel
maybe
very
we need a new part of Trial by One world, which is pedo land.
Yeah,
and instead of being like a great place where pedophiles go and there's little children and en masse for them to abuse, it's the opposite, right? So Pedoland is where we send them, and instead of having like these people that they
instead
can
of being
abuse,
like Disneyland,
they become like tiny little versions of themselves, like little versions.
God.
So I don't mean childness, but just they're diminished, so they're physically not very strong, and then some nasty versions of themselves, so that the nasty version of them is then magnified, and they just sort of attack themselves. So the nasty version of themselves.
They pedo themselves.
Something still like that.
Commit
their child
psyche
on themselves. So they're just it's contained to themselves, but they are punished and punishing.
Wow, that's warped.
I know,
like it though. Yeah, let's go. That's an unnatural offence.
Swanee is great, really upset by my idea of pedo land.
It's a very fine line, isn't it? I don't know. I just think
they're attacking themselves. I'm not talking about.
Yes, I understand that. That's fine. I just it's fine.
Like a cracking of the psyche.
Yes, fair enough. Yeah. Well, okay. All right. Well, there you go.
There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking us to Kandy.
I want Kandy.
KCSI, Kandy.
KCIS. We're in KCIS.
Yes.
Now.
What about if Olivia Benson, like the Sri Lankan version of Olivia Benson, had to do sort of like special victims unit?
No one's getting in trouble here, mate, other than
Samarasinghe.
you.
I wonder what her name would have been.
That's what she would have said.
Yes.
Oh, she wouldn't.
She wouldn't have been put up with that
She'd
shit.
Bang him to rights. She would be banging him to rights.
Like you're right to Rikers. Yeah.
Well, good job. Another good, never heard of story. Well done. And as we say every week, miss you already.
Ciao. Miss you already.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.